Good afternoon, and welcome to the 47th Convocation at the North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics. My name is Julie Hayes, President of the Durham Student Senate. On behalf of all NCSSM campuses and programs, it is my honor to begin the program. All who are able, please remain standing for the national anthem and Pledge of Allegiance. We will now listen to our vocal quartet, Jordan McIntyre, Lillian LeQuay, Eduardo Flores, and Benjamin Koo sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave, land of the brave.
President of the Morganton Student Senate, Ayush Patel, will now lead the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Terry Lynch, Vice Chancellor and Chief Campus Officer for NCSSM Durham.
You may be seated. Thank you, Julie and Ayush. Good afternoon and welcome to the classes of 2027 and 2008 at NCSSM Durham, Morganton, and online, as well as employees, families, alumni, and other friends of NCSSM. I am Terry Lynch, Chief Campus Officer for NCSSM Durham and Vice Chancellor for Student Life. I am delighted to have the opportunity to introduce the dignitaries who are with us in Durham for today's event. Please hold your applause until all have been recognized. NCSSM Chancellor Todd Roberts, Convocation Speaker Belton Moore, Class of 2016, Provost and Vice Chancellor for Academic Programs Allison Donnell, Durham President of Student Government Preston Cosby, Class of 2027, Durham President of Student Senate, Julie Hayes, Class of 2027, former NCSSM Executive Director, John Frederick, board members, Aaron Locklear, Class of 1993, Vice Chair of the Board of Trustees, Vice Chancellors, Barb Corey, Vice Chancellor for Development and NCSSM Foundation President, Deans, Jennifer Ash, Associate Vice Chancellor and Dean of Students, Garrett Love, Dean of Engineering and Computer Science, Lori Newnham, Dean of Counseling Services, Javier Pabon, Dean of Humanities, Amy Scheck, Dean of Science, Faculty Senate Chair and Durham Faculty Senate President, Sam Wheeler, Staff Senate President, Crystal Woods. Please join me in a round of applause for our dignitaries today. I would like to now introduce my friend and colleague in Morganton, Kevin Baxter, Vice Chancellor and Chief Campus Officer for NCSSM Morganton.
Thank you, Dr. Lynch. Greetings from Morganton. My name is Kevin Baxter, Vice Chancellor of Public Affairs and Chief Campus Officer for NCSSM Morganton, and it is my pleasure to welcome all of you to this special ceremony. At this time, I would like to acknowledge our dignitaries and distinguished guests who are with us in Morganton. Please hold your applause until all have been recognized. Morganton President of Student Government, Lance Morgan, class of 2027. Morganton President of the Student Senate, Ayush Patel, class of 2027. Board members, Foundation Board of Directors member Raghu Tumuluri. Deans, Beth Bumgardner, Dean of Mathematics. Jenny Merrill, Dean of Students. And Morganton Faculty Senate President Marcelo Aranda. Please join me in welcoming our esteemed guests with a round of applause. At this time, please turn your attention to our Chancellor, Todd Roberts, who is presiding over his 17th convocation at NCSSM.
Thank you, Mr. Baxter, and to everyone who is here on the Durham campus and on our Morganton campus. We want to welcome you to the 47th convocation at the North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics. And convocation is the ceremonial start to the beginning of the academic year. And we're really happy to have everybody from the class of 2027 and classes of 2028 here with us today on the two campuses, and members of our online program who are tuning in online. I also want to take a moment to thank Cade for the beautiful piano work earlier, Jordan, Lillian, Eduardo, Benjamin, Julie, and Ayush for helping get the convocation off to a great start, and also to Mr. Baxter and Dr. Lynch. So again, we're just excited to be here today together on campus and virtually, which is one of the things since we opened the NCSSM Morganton campus. We've done convocation this way every time, which is live on both campuses and virtual as well, with the convocation speaker alternating in person between the two campuses. And so this year, we're really fortunate to have with us the convocation speaker here on the Durham campus, Belton Moore. And I want to give a special shout out to the many people that make this event possible, from our academic programs team, fine arts, IT, and extended learning teams. Pulling this off is across the two campuses. Synchronizing it is not the easiest thing in the world to do. But the reason we do it is that we are one institution at NCSSM with the two campuses and multiple programs. And this is one effort. We put a lot of work in to help instill that one school, kind of vibe that we want to have as an institution. And so thank you to everyone that put in the work to make today possible. And I'm really excited that we have the residential students here and the online students online, because that's part of what we are as one institution. And I'm looking so forward to the upcoming year with all of us together, figuring out and doing what we can to make this an outstanding year. So not only want to thank the students for being here this afternoon, but to our amazing faculty and staff that are here on stage or in the audience in Morganton for all you've done to prepare for the start of this academic year. And big shout out to all of the seniors on the Morganton and Durham campus, and the hundreds of faculty and staff that came out to make move-in day an easy and great day for our juniors. It was a hot one for sure, but everybody's effort, I think, hopefully the juniors would agree, made your welcome to NCSSM that much better because you didn't have to carry a refrigerator. So thank you for everybody for doing what you did for that, and for our online students who a couple of weeks before had been here for online orientation, and we had a great turnout of online students to get acclimated for the start of their school year. And again, as Dr. Lynch and Mr. Baxter mentioned, thanks to our Board of Trustees and Alumni Board and Foundation Board members for being here today as well. And most particularly, thanks to Belton for being here to be our convocation speaker today. And you'll learn more about Belton, so I'm not going to go into his background now. But I think you'll find that his remarks will capture not only his NCSSM experience, but how that experience helped prepare him to start his career that he is just doing right now. And I hope that you'll have a chance to chat with him here on the Durham campus if you can after the ceremony, because I think what you'll find is what you can't capture in a 15-minute speech is really how amazing a person Belton is. And I was talking with him earlier today. It was pretty much a decade to the day that he was sitting here as a junior in this auditorium having his convocation speaker speak with him. And so you're really fortunate to have Belton. And so thank you for taking time to be with us here today. So each school year, when we begin, we look forward to the many possibilities that the new year brings for us. And the 1,500 students that we have in the classes of 2027 and 2028, you're embarking on a new year in which and where your stories that you will create and help make are different in many ways than the 300 students who started in the very first couple of years at NCSSM. But I think what you'll also find is that, and what I've found in talking with alumni, is these experiences are also very similar throughout the years. And those experiences that you'll share together, you'll talk about when you run into an alumnus who may be 20 years your senior at some point. This is really, to me, one of the most amazing things about our school is the fact that we can have these experiences and traditions that are held true to our mission across the many years, but also take the opportunity to continue to innovate and look at how we can improve the experience and make sure that it's the experience that each of you wants as well. So when I think about the experiences that you will have and the alumni before you, you are going to be connected now to, and when you graduate, about 15,000 alumni across the NCSSM community. And so whether you're a student here in Durham or Morganton or online, you're an NCSSM student and will be an NCSSM alumni, and you'll share these experiences through not only with your classmates, but the many alumni you will meet. So I hope that this year, together, all of us, the talented students from really every corner of North Carolina in our online, residential, and programs, we have about 90 counties from across North Carolina represented in these classes. And so I hope you'll really take the many, many opportunities that you're going to have to, whether it's conducting research in a lab, the incredible classroom experiences you'll have, making art in the art studios, designing or creating a device in a fabrication lab, or playing and competing on a field, a court, or a pool. Hopefully, you'll take all of those opportunities that you have and find those things that have been long passions of yours, but also take these opportunities to discover new interests as well. And I urge you to notice and give attention to all of these opportunities as they come along to you. Not saying do them all, because you can't do them all. As a matter of fact, good advice, don't try to do them all, but at least give the attention to them. And when you decide to do those things, do it because you really want to do it, not really because it's something you want to put on your resume or something like that, but it's an opportunity for you to learn something new, and it'll be an opportunity for you to grow and connect with new people as well. The opportunities you'll pursue and invest your time and energy in at NCSSM are largely of your choice, and ultimately they'll be what you make of them. When you choose to explore many things, you will either choose to explore many things or go more deeply in some of those things that you choose, or both. And maybe you'll start exploring broadly and focus in on select passions. But the real point is, I want you to find excitement in trying all of these things. And some of them you may experience failure, which is okay. that's an important learning that you need to do and you will do. But whatever you do, I hope you'll be able to find joy in the doing of those things. Some of the greatest opportunities you'll have will be found by engaging with your classmates. I mentioned the many opportunities you're going to have in the classes and labs and other areas, but the opportunities you will find in engaging with your classmates will be so important. When I speak with our alumni, what they tell me throughout the years most often is that the residential experience and the time that you connect online in the online program is one of the most transformational parts of these 2 years that you have. And part of the reason for that is that the NCSSM experience is full of people, the wonderfully diverse people that represent our state. And when I talked to our alumni, the fact that they had an opportunity to meet these people and become friends with them was, as I mentioned, as transformational as any part of the experience. Because we're so fortunate at NCSSM that our student community really reflects the rich diversity of our state, which you will find that here in your class, you'll have students from urban parts of the state, from rural parts of the state, different races, ethnicities, cultural backgrounds, religion, sexual orientations, life experiences, and points of view. You'll get to know all of them, whether it's on your residence hall or in classrooms or on the athletic fields or all across campus. And you'll get to know them in a way that you will come to find that these people will be part of your life for many years to come. And so while these days around us, events in the media, social media, politics, all of these things highlight and focus in on the things that divide us, or they try to create things to divide us. And I know from my experience and those of the many members of our NCSSM community now and throughout the years, the rich and diverse tapestry that is our community is our greatest strength. Being open-minded and open to learning from those in the classroom and lab and through clubs and participating in cultural fests, in your residence hall or in the online community, these experiences are core to the NCSSM experience and how we live and learn together at our school. The impulse of most of us, particularly in a very new experience, is when you have these new surroundings, new people, like many of you probably felt the juniors when you moved in, you look and you try to find the people and the things that you're most comfortable with, and you go to those things, and that's human nature. But I encourage you to try new things. I was recently reminded about this, how important this is to really enjoying the NCSSM experience at our online orientation a couple of weeks ago. Both speakers, now they're a few years removed from the online program, shared that when they started the program, they were unsure themselves, really unsure themselves, and looked at some courses. They didn't really even know what those courses were, but they tried them. And what those experiences did, it allowed them to shape not only what one is studying in college, but the other who is just starting her career. It really helped shape what career she has chosen to pursue. So these alumni stories are true of what you'll hear from a lot of our alumni, but I hope you'll take advantage of the many options you'll have to explore the new learning opportunities and learning from each other, as I mentioned before. Taking opportunities to explore different cultures, learn from your classmates and the people you're around is so important. If you leave NCSSM after 2 years, having not learned from others different than you and not shared who you are with others, you would have missed one of the most valuable and special opportunities this school has to offer, the people, which is really at the core of what makes the NCSSM experience special. So juniors, I know that over the past few days, you've been provided with a ton of information. You've been faced with a lot of newness and change, and may even be a little bit overwhelmed at this point. But I hope you're enjoying the start of the school year, making friends, and are really excited to find yourself where you are in beginning this academic school year. And I want you to know that everyone here on this campus is here to support you and to ensure your success. And for our seniors, your final year of high school, here we are starting it right now. And I know that the fall semester, particularly for all of you, will be busy as you, not to stress you out, work on college applications alongside with your classes and extracurriculars and all the other things that you'll do this year. You are really, really an awesome class. Let me just say, not just saying that because you're sitting here in front of me. It's very, very true. And I know you're going to have a fantastic senior year. What I will say to you juniors is that you're really fortunate to have a group of seniors like this that are here to help you guide you and get your year started off and throughout the year. And one of the things that at the end, and I'm sure the seniors felt this way at the end of last year, when your seniors graduate, it's a sad day for you because they'll mean a lot to you. And so seniors, thanks so much for being the kind of role models and support for your juniors that you are being. As I shared earlier, over the past 46 years, the NCSSM community has shared together all these things that are core to the experience. And this is what's enabled students from decades to meet hence down the road and have conversations and recognize many of the things that are the same. So whether we're here today at the 47th commencement here on the Durham campus, or the 5th year of operation and convocation at the Morganton campus, or the 19th year for our online students. It's going to be a fantastic year. And for our students in Morganton, I want to give a special shout out to the junior class coming in. You have the distinct honor of being the very first class on the Morganton campus to start the school year with every building built on the campus. So you'll have free run of all those buildings, the very first class to do so, which is quite an accomplishment. And for all of the students, the juniors coming in on the Durham campus, you'll see renovations going on in your 2 years, just as the seniors did last year, and got a lot of exciting continued renovations of residence halls. And I hope the students that have moved into Reynolds are enjoying that new residence hall. And we have an academic commons building that'll break ground later this summer. And so lots of things you will see. And I want to say in particular to the students over the years in Morganton and the employees there, and to the students here in Durham and the employees here in Durham, these types of renovations and improvements that happen to campus are not easy. It takes patience and grace on everybody's part to work through some of the inconveniences that come from improving your campus. And so I just wanted to say thank you for all that you helped to endure, as we hopefully are not only planning to have the campus be better for this group of students, but for many, many years to come for future unicorns and dragons. So again, I just wanted to say I hope that you're all excited for the new school year. I'm very excited to get this school year off to a great start. And so at this time, I would like to introduce our Student Government Association presidents, Preston Cosby in Durham and Lance Morgan in Morganton, to provide their remarks. And I appreciate Preston and Lance, y'all's leadership for student government as the year progresses. Thank you so much.
Everyone, please raise your right hand and lift one finger in the air. Please set them down now. Juniors, welcome to the next chapter in your lives. Seniors, welcome back for that chapter's finale. We each arrived on campus over the last 10 days as individuals that collectively represent every corner of North Carolina. However, now we are more than a representative. Each of us are a vital part of something more. A part of a learning community where everyone has a space to grow and an opportunity to thrive and feel welcome by all. A space where asking for help is common and supporting each other is expected. A strong community isn't built overnight. However, we have seen in these first few days on each campus that we have a strong foundation to be outstanding.
I know we are all filled with excitement and anxiety as we adapt to new roommates, prepare for classes, and anticipate the memories and moments that await us. This year, each of us will begin or continue experiencing the exciting opportunities that NCSM provides, ranging from research across every discipline to academic and athletic competitions to clubs which provide a safe space for each and every student.
Together, our community, one which consists of students, employees, parents, and alumni, awaits an array of memories we'll cherish for life. Photos of the outfits for our last first days, walking through the newly renovated hallways of Reynolds or the SWAC, holding the diploma we've worked towards for 12 years of our lives. Each of our lives will be permanently changed because of NCSSM and the experiences it uniquely provides.
As we begin to involve ourselves in our commitments this year, I ask us to remember one thing. Our motto is Maius Opus Moveo, or accept the greater challenge. As we become members and leaders within the NCSSM community, experiencing things which we'll reminisce on forever, there will still be obstacles in our path. Simple times with peers, from helping a student finally understand a concept they never grasped before, or sitting on the carpet of our friend's dorm room late into the night, will become memories of challenges and experiences that we'll reminisce about at reunions for years to come.
There's an old proverb. If everyone on earth raised one finger, we could lift the world. At a school with a community focused on working towards larger goals and daring to attempt the impossible, one's greatest strength isn't their own. It isn't their extensive resume, their natural aptitude for a certain task, not even the skills or knowledge they possess. At NCSSM, as well as every institution in the world focused on doing great things, our greatest strength is the power of our communities, the thousands of fingers which lift the sky.
When you feel nervous about a potentially life-changing application, the project you're working on with no previous experience, or even just about trying a new hairstyle, remember the crowd of people who stand with you, ready to support you.
Like the anchors which climbers use in case they slip, or the parachute which skydivers use to slow their descent, you are safe to embody the NCSSM motto, accepting the greater challenge because of the community you have to catch you. A community which started as a humble idea by Governor James B. Hunt and has since expanded to include 2 one-of-a-kind campuses, which are simultaneously unique and in sync with alumni both across the globe and in space.
As the world keeps spinning and we all keep growing, obstacles will continue to appear. However, no matter where you are, the connections you've made here and the connections you will go on to make will remain your strongest tool. So please, as you all move forward, remember the importance of building connections. Because if each person lifting a finger is enough to move the world, imagine what could happen if you use all 10. Welcome to a community that is ready to change the world. Thank you. And now it is my honor to introduce Provost Dr. Allison Donnell.
Good afternoon, students, faculty, staff, alumni, and distinguished guests. On behalf of academic programs, it's my absolute honor to welcome you all to Convocation for NCSSM. It's super exciting to know that here in Durham, out in Morganton, and online, I'm speaking to the fantastically brilliant members of the NCSSM classes of 2027 and 2028. I'm a fan. Being new to NCSSM myself, I have a feeling we're all buzzing with the same level of excitement about this new academic year, along with maybe a few nerves, maybe even a nightmare or 2. If you're like I was when I was in school, you might have a bad dream about an exam and a class that you forgot you signed up for. Don't worry, they'll fade. Well, that's not true. When I became a chemistry professor, I would start having dreams about tests I forgot to write, actually. So it still happens. But that actually brings up an interesting point. Why are we dreaming about school? Why is it that when we explore in our classes, that never leaves you, even in your sleep? The truth is, what happens in NCSSM classrooms, labs, and studios, it sticks with you. It shapes your college plans, It influences your career goals. It informs your life's meaning, and it maybe even leads you to your life partner. That is powerful. Our speaker today, Belton Moore, is living proof of that power. Belton is a proud member of the NCSSM class of 2016, and we're thrilled that he has joined us today, as well as a number of special guests, family members, friends, mom and dad are all here in the audience in Durham. Welcome to all of you for this special day. We're sorry to miss your spouse, Cameron, a fellow alum who couldn't be with us today. She's busy at work. When you came to NCSSM, it was the first time, as it is for so many of you, that he lived outside of his tight-knit community. Leaving the family farm in Robeson County surely felt like a giant leap, but it turned out to be a trust fall because he quickly fell into another tight-knit community here at NCSSM, one that embraced him, held him to a high bar, and taught him what it truly means to show up for others. 10 years now after graduating, Belton contemplated what he would tell his younger self, which included always putting forth your best effort, but focusing on the long run. Balance trying new things without overcommitting yourself. And what really resonated with me personally, be sure to seek out different perspectives. When asked which NCSSM employee made the biggest impact on his experience as a student, he essentially just said, yes. Too many to count, he said. Had taught him valuable life lessons. Teachers and mentors like Dr. Cantrell and Dr. Shoemaker supported him fully. Dr. Mason in admissions made an indelible impact through her involvement with the Aguego Native American Cultural Club. As an enrolled citizen of the Lumbee tribe, this kind of connection to home was undoubtedly crucial to Belton's happiness and success. You have probably read Belton's bio in our program today, which captures so many of those successes. He earned undergraduate degrees in economics and Spanish at NC State as a Park Scholar. Belton went on to earn dual master's degrees in public policy and business administration from Duke University and consultant at Boston Consulting Group's Raleigh-Durham office. But what is not in his resume are the ordinary yet memorable moments that helped shape him as a person, like hanging out with friends on 9th Street, welcoming prospective students as a student ambassador at NCSSM, or attending cultural fests and shows at the ETC here on the Durham campus. At NCSSM and at State, he was able to interact with classmates from across North Carolina, giving him a profound, enduring appreciation for our state and its varied communities. That foundation has set him on a truly incredible path focused on the people and the places that make up our great state of North Carolina. Throughout his career, including his dedicated work with Governor Roy Cooper's Hometown Strong initiative, he has focused on lifting up rural and tribal communities across North Carolina. The lesson of community support he learned right here as a student is the exact spirit he carries into his work every single day. Class of 2027 and class of 2028, as you begin this journey, remember that the high standards set here are not meant to test your limits, but to help you build a long-lasting support system. The community you build here will last a lifetime, just like Belton's has. Please join me in giving a warm NCSSM welcome to our 47th Convocation speaker, Belton Moore.
Thank you, Dr. Danil. for the very kind introduction. I can tell you were talking with my mom earlier. And congratulations on joining NCSSM as provost. The school is lucky to have you here. I'd like to thank Chancellor Roberts, Dr. Tichy, and everyone here for having me today. And can we give another round of applause for the student speakers? I was getting goosebumps sitting up here myself. I'd also like to thank my family for being here with me. If my dad were up here instead of me, he'd tell you all the story of when he brought me to Welcome Day. We're running just a little bit late on the drive up from Robinson County, and as we neared the school, he said, "Belton, I'm going to drop you off at the curb out there, Brian, and you can run in and grab us a seat, and I'll park and catch up to you." Full of nerves, I looked him dead in the eyes and said, "There ain't no way you're leaving me at this place all alone." He laughed, wondering if this was the same son who had applied all on his own, hopefully knowing that he would be, in fact, getting dropped off for 2 whole years. I must have missed the memo sometime in the missions presentation. He did eventually leave me here, and I stayed. But the truth is, and as Dr. Deneau alluded to, I was never truly alone here. It's hard to put into words how transformative my 2 years at NCSSM truly were. NCSSM Durham, and specifically my room on 3rd East, was only the second place I'd ever called home. I also feel a special connection to the Morganton campus since it was announced during my time here, and I was fortunate enough to be there for the groundbreaking in 2019. Thanks, Kevin. And I was lucky enough to become friends with many of my online classmates during the Summer Leadership and Research program. I must say, in a year when an NCSSM alumna, and NC State alumni might add, has literally gone around the moon, I was more than a little surprised when they asked me of all earthbound people to give this speech. The truth is, just over 10 years out from NCSSM, I feel like I'm still at the beginning of my own life and career. And while I certainly don't have it all figured out, I do think I've had just enough time to reflect on my own experience here and how it's changed my life. You know, it's really special for me to be here with you all at your convocation in particular. Both of my convocations, I think I was in the balcony, and I mostly remember thinking to myself that I'd be doing great just to make it from convocation to commencement and actually graduate from NCSSM. I didn't fully understand what I was getting myself into at the time, but I knew that it would probably be more challenging than anything I'd ever done. Safe to say that my fears were slightly overblown, but to this day, attending and graduating from the North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics is one of my proudest accomplishments. That's not least because I've never actually considered myself as particularly gifted in either science nor math. I'm sure most of you will have many more years of school and training to come, and your 2 years here will fly by. But the lessons you learn here and the habits you build here will stay with you forever. NCSSM and the people here, many of whom are on this stage, taught me more lessons than I could ever count. But there are 3 principles that I learned here that I'd like to share with you all today. I'm sure for many of you, these principles already come naturally. In fact, I'd venture to say that they're probably what led you here to NCSSM in the first place. So more than just challenging you to grow in a new area, which I can guarantee will happen here, likely in the physics lab, I'm hoping I can spur you to also focus on an area in which you already shine. Because I've found that when the going gets tough, you're often better off focusing on your strengths rather than trying to build up any perceived weaknesses. After all, you've probably noticed that management consultant isn't exactly the typical STEM career. And if you stick with me into the end, I promise to tell you which of these 3 areas I think is most important for you all to prioritize during your time here and beyond. First principle, give it your all. Like many of you, I'd enjoyed school, but never had to work too hard to do well enough. That changed the day I arrived to NCSSM. Like many mathers before me, I struggled with my first pre-calculus test, just to put it lightly. And I remember going to Dr. Tichy's office to talk with her about what went wrong. I remember telling her, "Dr. Tichy, I feel like I'm just not good enough. I feel like everything comes more easily to everyone else." First, she asked how much studying I'd actually done for the test, and I had to admit that my hour or so browsing over my notes wasn't quite sufficient for the high standards here. Then she looked at me and said something that has stuck with me to this day. She said, "Belton, you don't want to see how hard those around you are working." I learned to run my own race at NCSSM, not comparing myself to my classmates, but knowing that I had to push harder to do my best and to reach my true potential. There were times when I worried about what would happen if I gave it my all and it still wasn't good enough. If you've ever had those thoughts, I'd invite you to reconsider what is good enough. It's not about getting the perfect grades or getting into all the top colleges. It's about challenging yourself to grow and to do work that you're proud of. Sometimes that's because it is the best work around, and sometimes it's your best, and that's what matters. There are very few places that will hold you to a standard this high, but also give you all the support you need to meet that standard in a safe environment like NCSSM. There will be times when you need to dial it back and rest up, and that's okay. But I want you all to know that when it matters the most, you have what it takes. There's still times when I'm in a new environment that I find myself looking around and thinking, geez, everyone else here already has this all figured out. And that's my niece, by the way. She's getting scared by all the hard work that we're talking about. So, whether that's presenting to a governor on rural economic development, or interviewing a renowned scientist about semiconductor supply chains, or sitting on Duke's Board of Trustees. But because of my experiences here, I know that with hard work and perseverance, I can eventually hold my own in almost any room I walk into. And most importantly, for Dr. Tichy, I can still follow most of the math that comes my way. Principle number 2, focus on the long run. Growing up in a rural community, I traveled within the US some, but I'd never been out of the country. Looking back, I actually think the opportunity to travel abroad on a mini term, or as you all know, a J term, was one of my main draws to NCSSM. You can imagine my excitement when my chemistry teacher, Mr. Gabrielli, announced a 2-week trip to his native country of Italy. It seemed like all my friends were going, and I was eager to see all the things I'd read about and seen on TV. But despite how hard Mr. Gabrielli worked to keep the costs down, and despite how good I had gotten at convincing my mom to give me plenty of money for meals on 9th Street, I know the trip wasn't in that year. I was a little disappointed, but I knew that I would make a way to see the world going forward. I just had to figure out how. Based on a connection I'd made during the summer leadership and research program, I was able to apply for and secure a fully funded internship at an agricultural research institution in Chennai, India, for the summer before senior year. I spent 2 months in India that summer, researching the impact of land rights programs on food security in Adivasi tribal communities. As someone who grew up on a family farm here in North Carolina in a tribal community, that summer taught me more about the world than I could have ever imagined. Later on in college, I made it a priority to see more of the world, and ended up studying abroad 3 times and eventually made it to Italy twice. Everyone here will face setbacks at some point, however big or however small. But when one door closes, find another door to go through, or get your friends in the Fab Lab to help you make a new door entirely. It's easy to get wrapped up in the moment here and think that these 2 years will define the rest of your lives. Don't get me wrong, what you do here matters, and I encourage you all to make the most of it. But don't forget that NCSSM is just the starting point in your journeys. You'll face challenges and setbacks, some trivial and some incredibly serious. But always remember that good things will come in due time. Principle number 3, the last principle. Take care of one another. As NCSSM students, you all are going through an experience like none other. Juniors, you're just beginning, and seniors, you already know all about it. All of you have sacrificed something to be here, whether it's leaving behind cherished family members, lifelong friends, or just the expectations of what the last 2 years of high school would have looked like. Through my work, I've been fortunate to travel across our state and get to know many of the communities that you all call home. Maybe you're one of the many students from Charlotte, Cary, or Chapel Hill, or maybe you're one of the only students here from Baber, Olin, or Clyde. But as you join together in this new NCSSM community, no one else will understand what you're going through quite like your classmates around you, whether you're in Morganton, Durham, or online. I encourage you all to prioritize truly getting to know one another and building the unbreakable bonds that will carry you through any challenge. Embrace being around classmates from completely different backgrounds. Find people who think differently from you and engage with them to learn where they're coming from and build bridges. Sit with someone new in the PFM or the academic commons and ask how they're really doing that day. And give each other the grace that we would all ask for ourselves. be there to cheer each other on in the good times and to lift one another up in the not so good times. If I had any regrets for my time here, it's not that I didn't spend more time studying for a chemistry quiz, sorry to the chemistry faculty, or following through on dancing in the Latin America Fest. It's that I didn't spend even more time truly getting to know my classmates and looking out for them when they needed it the most. To this day, when I'm at my highest highs or lowest lows, my NCSSM classmates are some of the first ones I call. Granted, part of that might be a little bit easier for me because I actually married one of my classmates, but I can guarantee that no matter where life takes you, your NCSSM family will show up for you when you need them the most. What will carry you all through this next year and beyond isn't just your raw intelligence, your skills, or your talents. It's the way you show up for others and lean on others. It's the way you care for those that are struggling. And it's the way you work together to achieve what would seem impossible alone. Accepting the greater challenge isn't just about reaching new heights as an individual. It's about being there for one another, especially when times are tough. Now, you all might be thinking, that all sounds contradictory, Belton. How am I supposed to give it my all while focusing on the future, all while caring for those around me? The truth is, I agree. It's hard to do all those things at once. But as you grow in the coming years and throughout your lives, you'll learn how to balance. You'll know when to work hard and when to rest up. You'll know when to look to the future and when to put your head down and focus on what's right in front of you. You'll know when to be there for others and when to ask them to be there for you. But if you ever have to choose, in any moment, I hope you'll prioritize looking after one another. Your time here together is short, but it doesn't have to be the finish line for your NCSSM journey. If you all commit today to looking after one another, this can be just the beginning of a lifelong bond that will carry you through anything life throws at you. So run your own race here. Just don't run it alone. When you leave NCSSM in a year or two, let them say that not only were you the smartest classes or the hardest working classes, but that you all were the classes that looked after one another like no one else could. Thank you again for having me today, and I wish you all the very best for the next year and beyond.
Belton, thank you so much for being here and your words. We really appreciate that, and hopefully, and I know they were meaningful to everyone in the audience. And so as a gift, we want to give you, this is NCSSM, which was drawn by the original art teacher here when the school opened. So Belton, congratulations, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, again, thank you for being here to do that. And your niece, we'll have this will be recorded so your niece can watch it. She can finish off watching that when she's ready to do so. Matter of fact, before we walked out today, before we came out here, we were talking just about that very thing with her. So again, thank you so much. And I really appreciate your three principles, and particularly the one you said is the most important. I totally agree. So as we close the 47th convocation, I want to again just take a moment to thank everybody who prepared for today's event and helped to get us through today's events with all the tech. I mean, just really flawless. And so I can't thank you enough for all of your efforts to help today be such a great way to start the school year. And again, thanks to our musicians who helped get the day started, and Preston and Lance. Again, I want to thank you. You guys did a great job. We were talking about coming out here. Probably the toughest speaking job up here today is the one when they're having to coordinate those efforts back and forth across the two campuses. But as I mentioned earlier, I think that's what really helps to help us understand that we are one institution. And I want to say a particular thank you to Dr. Donnell and Dr. Teachy, Dr. Little, Mr. Barner, Ms. Lambert, Ms. Sutton, Ms. Maddox. Those are the people that really behind the scenes do a lot of the work that makes today possible. We certainly couldn't pull off this convocation without all of you. And again, thanks to our faculty and staff who have worked really hard preparing for the start of this school year. And for all of our students, again, as you head into this school year, the experiences that you have will be what you make of them, kind of as Belton said. And so I just encourage you to strive to your highest ability and know that those folks that have been with you all along the way, your parents and your families are, even though they may be a little further away, they're there to support you. And I think you'll find that here at NCSSM, there are no more amazing and committed professionals anywhere that will be here to help you be successful and support you all along the way. So take advantage of the many opportunities you're going to have. Work to be your best self while at the same time helping to make the NCSSM community better for you having been here and as a member of it. So thank you again. And at this time, we will now have the NCSSM alma mater. So it's on your program there. If you'd like to stand and sing along, please rise. And we will enjoy our alma mater. So our vocal quartet will lead us in the alma mater.
Alike in truths that we share, to learn is to be alive. What joy becoming aware of a school where excellence thrives, and so choosing and chosen we go to find and to explore the greater challenge of all that's in store.
So if you would be seated again, please. This concludes our 47th convocation. And for those folks that are here attending the receptions on campuses, after the event on the Morganton campus outside the academic commons, there'll be a picnic where you can gather. And in Durham, right out there on the Bryan lawn, will be a picnic for you all. So please stay in your seats until the recessional is complete. And again, let's have a fantastic school year. Thank you so much.
That are here to my left, please stand.